Hey, what is going on, Feral Druid community? It is Blue. We are back with another video. Unfortunately, today we have to talk about some bad news. Um, there has been another nerf to Feral Druid, and I'm a little bit late to the show. I do try to put this content out as quickly as possible, but unfortunately, today was a day that I actually needed to be in the office. And I really wanted to post this content, but I'm just getting it to you when you can. So some of you are probably familiar with this yet, and if you're not, you're not. But again, either way, I want to give you my thoughts. I've also had some time to really sit and think about the previous nerf, the nerf to our AoE, and I do have a lot of thoughts about those as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Lunar Inspirations Moonfire damage cast in cap form has been reduced by 40%. Okay, this is pretty big. They have a developer's note. It says, we want to keep Lunar Inspiration's value as a ranged DPS option and cheap combo point generator, but bring its output more in line with other talents at its location in the talent tree. Okay. First thing I will say, because we'll start off great, right? We'll start good, nice. 100% agree with this, okay? As far as the damage it does in its tree compared to like everything else in its tree, yeah, that's a lot, right? That one choice is a lot of damage. And I did pull up. Let's pull up a video. I pulled up my single target guide video, and again, I wasn't super practiced up on this single target. It was a little bit of a mess for me if you watch that. But we see here Moonfire is doing 8.5%, right? I mean, like, so 8.5% for that one combo point. Obviously, that one combo point's not 8.5 by itself. I mean, you have this Carnivorous Instincts, which we spec into, which is 12%. So some of that's baked in there and whatnot. But either way, that's a lot of damage. Now I did go ahead and so you guys probably can't see this. So this 8.5% for me is 341k. So a 40% nerf is going to bring this a little bit below Feral Frenzy. Feral Frenzy is like 5.3. So let's just say this is going to go to about 5%, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8.5%. So just some quick numbers. That looks like 3.5% nerf. From at least this example alone. I don't really know how elongated this fight was, but 3.5%, it doesn't feel good. The thing I would say is, I think Blizzard has been doing really well. They've been doing really well so far, and I do not doubt that I do not, sorry, I was thinking about something. Apologize about that. I do not doubt their capabilities of like doing it right, but I do worry. The thing is, Moonfire is so important for Feral Druid single target. It is a difficult playstyle, but it is the way Feral Druid is meant to play. It is a very fun, enjoyable play style. And the thing is, right now in Dragonflight, playing Moonfire feels wonderful because it is a difficult challenge, but yet you also have Mythic Plus, which is a more relaxed, enjoyable, laid-back, easy play style. And we need a spec that has this really fun difficulty challenge to it. And I would really encourage Blizzard to really be careful about that, and Moonfire is a huge. It is one of the better things that has come to Feral Druid and Dragonflight. One of the awesome things that Moonfire does is it makes you forget how much you hate Blood Talons, and it makes Blood Talons what it was intended to be. I really think Blood Talons was intended to be this ability that you spec into that, hey, you're already doing this anyways, so I'm rewarding you for what you're already doing anyways. Does Blood Talons work like that? Hell no, I hate Blood Talons. But in single target, it actually does. With Moonfire, because you have so many bleeds that you're balancing and they're falling off quickly, it actually works like that. And this is awesome. We want to forget how much we hate Blood Talons because Moonfire is so awesome. That is a good thing. So yeah, I think that's enough said. Let's talk about my thoughts on Tear Open Wounds. Okay. I'm going to stand by my saying that I think this was a very intelligent nerf to Feral Druid's AoE damage. Feral Druid's AoE it used to be too strong. Okay. This was a way of nerfing Feral Druid's AoE damage without touching their single target. But hey, what do I know? They nerf their single target anyway, so whatever, right? But the thing is, I do want to fight. And I think the Feral Druid community should also fight for 8 targets, at least. Okay? For 8 targets at least. You know, after I've tested this out, this has impacted Feral Druid really terribly. Okay? Feral Druid used to be known in the beta as one of those AoE specs, is one of those very strong AoE specs, kind of like an Unholy. You think about Unholy DK, and you're like, yeah, that is the AoE spec. Feral Druid used to be seen as that. And I think we should fight to remain as that. We cannot be that at all with Tear Open Wounds in the state that it is, hitting 5 targets. Okay? If it hits 8 targets, we may possibly get there. May possibly. Okay? This not hitting every target was actually a huge nerf to us. More than I realized. So let's take a look at damage and why I think this is a factor. All right? I want to show you, this is a key. I was not ahead of the Unholy. I went ahead, did some dummy testing, and made it look like I was ahead of the Holy. This is Feral Druid's overall damage, right? What you're going to see here is you're going to see the majority of our damage is rip. Now, if you think about an AoE environment, 20 plus packs, we're going to rip every target. What does our damage look like? I don't know, but I will tell you it's consistent. Why? Because most of our damage is rip, and we really can't manipulate rip too much. Alright? It's just very consistent ticks. Sure, I can Tiger's Fury a Primal Wrath to get those rips a little bit enhanced. Sure, I can do some free bite procs, which can enhance 4 seconds worth of rips, which is like 2 procs, 3 procs. Very, very minor changes. Can we affect rip to enhance our damage by a big chunk? Okay? Now, what I want to show you is Feral Druid is one of the very few specs that has only one source of damage. I want to show my finger, the mic's hiding this. One source of AoE damage. We used to have 2. We used to have Rip and Tear Open Wounds. Tear Open Wounds was our secondary source of damage that made us an AoE monster. Made us be considered to be part of those major AoE specs, like Unholy is. So let's go ahead and take a look at Unholy. And first of all, I shouldn't have even been looking. Let's actually look at a boss fight. Overgrown Ancient, if you don't know it, this is a very heavy ad fight. Let's look at our damage. Very heavy ad fight. We have only one source of AoE damage here. Rip. We have nothing to back it up. We used to have Tear Open Wounds be much higher here as a secondary source of damage, and that is what made us become part of that classification as, hey, this is an AoE spec. Right now, we cannot be considered an AoE spec because we do not have a secondary source of damage to really punch us up in there. Now, what you're going to see from other specs is, yes, they have that main source of damage, and this is Epidemic. This is what they received as their 8 target caps. Out for 1 second. Now they also have a secondary source of damage, and this one it's I don't know how you say that, virulent plague. Okay, so you can see that, and then they have a third, which is pretty nice, but then the rest kind of looks kind of like what us. And glacial fury, this is an augment, by the way. This is something you drink. Virulent plague. All right. Feral Druid does not have that. The only way to get that back is this needs to hit all targets, or it needs to hit more targets. All right. I think if this can hit 8 targets, this is going to at least be a little bit higher than Thrash. Right. I would like to see it even higher than that, because again, it's that secondary source of damage, which is actually our upfront, which are actually going to be pushing the numbers. We're not really going to be able to be pushing the numbers with Rip. The only time we push numbers with Rip is add another target, add another target, add another target. But it's consistent, right? We need that push, which is our tear open wounds. So I would say, Blizzard, please take a look at damage profiles. Feral Druid, if you notice, is one of the specs that does not have a secondary source of damage, and we are going to be hurting because of it. And that secondary source of damage was tear open wounds. I say, hey, make it hit all the targets again and reduce it. That's okay. What would that do? Well, that would help us in big AoE packs. But if it's reduced, it's not going to be super impactful in smaller packs. That's okay. Our damage is still good enough. But we do want some type of damage profile to make our damage look a little bit better, right? It's just not looking great. And Rake, you may say, well, Boo, you have Rake. Yeah, but Rake in a 20 pack, it's not great. I mean, Rip is my main source of damage, so I have to proc Blood Talons to enhance my Rips, you know? So I can rake as many targets as I can, but I still need to proc Blood Talons, you know, and I'm going to be getting bite procs in between. So honestly, I can only rake once every rotation, maybe twice every rotation, but still I can't. So that's it. I think the Feral Druid community needs to fight over this. I think Feral is worth fighting for. I mean, if I was Blizzard, they poured a lot of time and effort into this spec. It's paid off. This spec plays amazingly well. It's got cats going for it. Who doesn't like cats? They're obviously, you know, from what I've learned from Final Fantasy, I haven't played it, but there is a huge cat backing, you know. So, hey, maybe we can get some of that coming in playing World of Warcraft. You know, maybe you can, you know, you get Feral Druid to do well, Blizzard, and you may have a whole bunch of cat people coming over, you know, getting more subs. So that's a good thing, right? You got Druid in general. Druid in general, this is also another good thing, you know, as far as newer players coming in the expansion, they don't know what they want to play. Druid is a wonderful thing for them to pick up. You know, I feel like there's only positives for them to have Feral Druid performing well. That's it. I didn't mean to intend to make this video too long. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Leave them in the comments below. Who knows? Maybe Blizzard checks out this video and is wondering what your guys' thoughts are. But that's it. Take it easy, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Peace out.